Hey guys.
Very disturbing to hear these things or to kind of see some of the receipts that appear to be connected to it. And I think the taxpayers really deserve better.
Buckle up, because you're about to witness one of the most chaotic political races ever. The super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is running for re-election, and it's shaping up to be a total train wreck. Imagine reality TV meets a political thriller with a generous dose of pure mayhem. Get ready, folks. Henyard's support has plummeted to an astonishingly low single-digit percentage. Yes, you read that right. This is a mayor who's not only under FBI investigation, but also facing an eviction lawsuit and a growing level of disdain from her own community. And yet, despite all this, she's still convinced she has a shot at winning. This isn't just another election. It's a desperate fight for survival. The stakes are higher than ever, and it's clear that this race will be anything but ordinary.
I got smoke. What ham hocks? I got smoke.
Henyard's campaign is turning into a strategic spectacle, part political maneuvering, part bizarre performance art. Take, for example, the infamous turkey giveaways leading up to Thanksgiving. While some residents saw it as a thoughtful gesture, others viewed it as a blatant attempt to distract from the township's deepening financial issues. And why the rush to get everyone to a meeting, you might wonder. Trustee Christopher Gonzalez has pointed out Henyard's deliberate attempts to push through key agenda items without a quorum. The turkey giveaway. It's political theater at its finest, an attempt to shift attention away from the real issues and keep the public entertained while the town's problems continue to pile up. The drama keeps unfolding, and Henyard's tactics seem to only add fuel to the fire.
Blacko. Tiffany Henyard actually has 2 political jobs on 2 public payrolls. As mayor of South Suburban Dalton, or as she calls her.
When it comes to snow removal, Henyard's efforts were anything but impressive. Dalton residents were left to deal with dangerously icy streets, while Henyard seemed more focused on social media posts than actually addressing the crisis. This wasn't just a lack of confidence, it was a blatant disregard for the safety and well-being of the very people she was elected to serve. With a town in need of basic services and leadership, Henyard's failure to respond to such an urgent situation only added to the growing list of grievances from the community. It's one more example of her leadership falling short in critical times.
It looks like a misspending of tax funds. I think that's the biggest concern.
Henyard's relationships with local churches and businesses are, to put it mildly, in ruins. Numerous business owners have openly expressed frustrations with her obstructive tactics, making it nearly impossible for them to secure permits or licenses. Lawrence Gardner, a trucking company owner, even claimed his business was shut down after he refused to make a sizable donation to Henyard's campaign war chest. He compared her to Nina Brown, the infamous drug kingpin from New Jack City, calling her tactics a form of outright intimidation. This isn't just bad governance, it's a troubling pattern of coercion and abuse of power. The public outrage in Dalton is palpable. Residents are fed up, and they're done with the constant drama, financial mismanagement, and the overwhelming sense of neglect that's characterized the town under Henyard's leadership. This is an embarrassment to Dalton. Why won't you step down? One resident shouted during a public meeting, an outcry that reflects the feelings of many. They're not just dissatisfied, they're furious. She's power-hungry, and she doesn't care how much she drains the area of resources. Another resident said, summing up the widespread sense of betrayal. With the community on edge, it's clear that Henyard's leadership has pushed Dalton to a breaking point.
Investigations from federal entities. Those entities, as we know, can take anywhere from 2 months to 5 years. We feel this option will...
Then there's the FBI investigation, the elephant in the room, that's hanging over every aspect of Henyard's re-election campaign. Federal agents have issued subpoenas seeking records related to the finances of both Dalton and Thornton Township, with allegations ranging from the misuse of taxpayer funds to questionable contracts. Henyard has denied any wrongdoing, but the investigation is still ongoing, and it's casting a long shadow over her political future. This isn't just about securing another term. It's about dodging potential criminal charges. The situation in Dalton has become a perfect storm of political dysfunction, financial mismanagement, and public outrage. Henyard's re-election bid has turned into a desperate attempt to hold on to power and avoid the fallout from her actions. But the residents of Dalton are fed up with her antics, broken promises, and constant drama. The key is for residents to get out and vote. One YouTube commenter stated, "She only won by a few hundred votes last time." That narrow victory emphasizes the fragility of Henyard's position. If the electorate turns out in full force, she could very well be unseated. Another commenter pointed out a much larger issue. This is an embarrassment to the election officials of Illinois. How did they let this happen? It's a question that speaks to the systemic failures that allowed Henyard to rise to power and remain in office despite the numerous red flags surrounding her. The real question, though, is how things got this bad and whether Dalton can finally break free from this political nightmare.
Dawn and Scott, the meeting wrapped up early because two trustees, as you mentioned, did not show up. Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. Without them, not enough board members were present to make official decisions.
With ongoing legal battles, financial troubles, and public outrage, Henyard's re-election prospects are dimming. Her attempts to blame others and strange campaign tactics have only intensified criticism. This election has become a referendum on her entire time in office, with every decision and scandal under scrutiny. As frustration grows, it's clear Henyard's hold on power is weakening, and Dalton's political landscape may face a major shift.
If the board do not show up, we are not able to pay bills. We are not able to handle the business.
The eviction lawsuit cannot be overlooked either. Henyard and her boyfriend, K.L. Woods, are facing eviction for unpaid rent. Their landlord, Janetta Hull, who was once a friend of Henyard's, described the situation as a rock and a hard place. This seemingly small issue highlights a larger problem: Henyard's leadership style. Chaotic, reckless, and ultimately self-serving. Beyond the financial scandals and public backlash, Henyard's leadership has been described as autocratic and confrontational. Multiple sources have claimed that she used the police department to intimidate opponents and silence dissent. One Dalton trustee, Kay Belcher, even stated that former police chief Robert Collins admitted Henyard instructed him to target specific individuals. These allegations paint a troubling picture of a mayor more focused on retaining power than serving her community. Additionally, her use of a large security detail has only intensified concerns. The cost of her security, reportedly exceeding $1 million, are a significant burden for a small town already struggling financially. These factors combined present a portrait of a leader more concerned with maintaining control and personal gain than addressing the needs of her town and its residents.
To your scheduled board meetings. I don't care if you agree or disagree, but you must show up to say yes or no, or vote.
The irony of Henyard's situation is striking to the people of Dalton. While she presents herself as a strong, decisive leader, her actions have repeatedly undermined her credibility. Lavish spending, questionable contracts, and ongoing legal issues have painted a picture of a mayor who is out of touch with the struggles of everyday residents. Adding to this irony is the fact that she's running for re-election while facing eviction for unpaid rent, making her hypocrisy all the more glaring. There's a stark contrast between the image she projects as a powerful, capable leader and the reality of a mayor who seems unable to manage her own finances, let alone the town's. This dissonance between her public persona and personal life has further eroded any remaining public trust. Moreover, recent court rulings have only reinforced this. A Cook County court reversed her appointment of Michael Smith as executive assistant in special counsel, a move that reflects just how much her decisions are being scrutinized and challenged, not only by the public, but also by the legal system.
To use the term stopping the meeting, we just want to get some responsible adult, communication and try to do the right thing by the city.
The canceled Thornton Township meetings due to trustee absences are a clear indication of the deepening divide within the board. Trustees Gonzalez and Carlisle's deliberate actions to block Henyard from reaching a quorum reveal a profound lack of trust and a coordinated effort to prevent her from pushing her agenda forward. Their decision to stall until the time limit for Henyard to appoint a replacement for the vacant trustee seat shows a calculated move to thwart her attempts at consolidating power. The consistent failure to achieve a quorum underscores the ongoing dysfunction and mistrust within the township board, further highlighting the fractured state of leadership in the community.
Election is not until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy surrounding her.
The incident where Henyard called the police on workers removing banners featuring her image is a clear example of her erratic behavior. The vendors involved claim they were owed a significant amount of money, which only adds to the ongoing narrative of financial mismanagement and questionable spending practices that have plagued her administration. Henyard's over-the-top reaction to the removal of her promotional materials highlights a deep insecurity and an overwhelming need for self-promotion, signaling her leadership style, impulsive, authoritarian, and ultimately self-sabotaging. The ongoing conflict between Henyard and the Dalton Village Board of Trustees has spiraled into a continuous source of drama. Public meetings have turned into battlegrounds, with residents confronting Henyard over her spending and leadership choices. The frequent disruptions, delays, and cancellations of these meetings reflect the severe divisions and lack of trust within the village government. What was once a political disagreement has now escalated into a full-blown crisis of governance.
Now to important business in Thornton Township, which hit a roadblock tonight, not because of the weather, not because of logistics, but because two trustees refused to
The warning from the state agency regarding the legality of Henyard's appointment of the police chief is yet another serious blow to her authority. Ronald Burge's status as inactive due to missing paperwork and a lack of recent requalification raises substantial concerns about Henyard's decision-making ability and her effectiveness in managing the village's affairs. This isn't just a minor error. It's a significant violation of procedure with potentially serious legal consequences. The fact that Dalton trustees are now considering further legal action highlights just how serious the situation has become. The ongoing back and forth between Henyard and her opponents, combined with the legal battles, financial struggles, and growing public dissatisfaction, paints a stark and troubling picture. It's a saga of a mayor who's lost the trust of her community, faces a possible criminal investigation, and is clinging to power with increasing desperation. The question now is, will the residents of Dalton finally make their voices heard, or will Henyard somehow defy the odds and manage to keep her position? Will the FBI investigation ultimately bring her down, or will she find a way to escape the consequences of her actions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates as this wild drama unfolds. Stay tuned!